Brizzy.
2 minutes.
Listen to Frank, 2 minutes, 45-minute story. Frank was broke, did he tell you? Anyway, the greatest story I can tell you is that this compensation plan has changed my life, and I started renovating my backyard like 3 or 4 weeks ago with a new patio, and I had a pond. I added a second pond and a stream and another patio with a pergola. And it's exciting because to me, that's life-changing, that I finally have a place to put a table and have company and have a Viridian party. And I want to have my video filmed for my Audi in my backyard to show you how it's changed my life. It's been unbelievable, so it's just awesome. And my goal, lastly, before I pass it on, my goal was to pay for my daughter's education at Penn State. And last year, I made enough money in Viridian to pay for her 1 year of education, and she graduated, and now I'm paying it forward, so great business.
Can I have 5 minutes, please? You know, folks, to say that I'm thankful for this opportunity is a gross understatement. When I got into this business 32 months ago, I didn't know what I was doing. Like most of us that come into the business don't know what they're doing. But I had to challenge myself for certain reasons, for medical conditions that we talk about the why. Why are you here tonight in July when you could be somewhere else or down the beach? If somebody gave me front row tickets to the Yankees today, I'd be here. And no place else would matter today but being here. Because I'm here to support all the people in this room and tell my story like everybody else told their story. So maybe 20 or 30 or 40% of the people in this room say, why not me? Why can't I have that freedom? Why can't I have that life? Because this is here for the taking. If you treat this business like it's $500,000 and you don't have 1 penny left to your name and you cannot fail, you will be successful. If you treat this business like you spent $199 or $399 and that's all it means to you, you will fail. So I tell each and every one of you that are here in this room, take this with the most sense of dire urgency to be successful and let nothing get in your way. Don't let anybody kill your dream, and each and every one of you will be successful. Because it will happen. Thank you.
Great going after big job. Very respectful. I got into this business 3 years ago. When I saw it, I have 4 kids. I was in the printing business. Printing business was great to me for a lot of years, but it was a changing industry. It was an industry that was dramatically changed by the internet. 9/11 was the first thing that really affected it when it first started. I have 3 kids in college right now, so 3 years ago, 2 of them were starting. And the third was, and I was like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to make this work? And when I saw Viridian, and I said, wow, if this is real, if this is what they're saying, if this is true and real, this is the ticket. This is my ticket. And I can't tell you, this has blown my expectations in 3 years, and where we're going is actually, it's just off the charts. The joy I get every day of helping people in our business, I mean, that's what we do now. We're always out there trying to get customers and new associates, but what we're really trying to do is make other people successful. We're trying to duplicate our success, because the more successful they are, the more successful we are. And there's nothing better than seeing guys like Anthony Serino's life change, guys like Todd Young. It's just great to see these, and to see them go out and duplicate that process. I'm looking at Myra Burroughs. This is, this changed your life. I know it has. And I get such great joy out of seeing what we're doing to affect people's lives every day. There's an interesting story I read the other day in the paper. So 10 years ago, people were looking to work less and spend more time with their family. Well, now, 10 years later, that trend has changed. People are willing to work a little bit more because the time that they spend with their family, they want it to be more quality time. They want to have a little bit more money to do those extra things. And that's the life we're all living right now. And this business model is absolutely perfect for that exact reason. So thank you, everybody, for being here tonight.
Cheers.
I know I already spoke. I'd like to say, I'd only be up here if it wasn't for my team. So if everyone from my team, if you guys can just please stand up, and I want to thank you guys for coming. And also, that's what this business is about. How many good friends do you get here? I mean, everyone in this room I know personally. Peter and Jeff were at my house yesterday. Monday we did a training at my house, and it's all about how many people you really dedicated to making friends with and help change their lives like you want your life changed. So thank you guys, and thanks for letting me up here.
You heard a lot of different things. I was thinking of things to say as I was listening to other people talk. Sandy's problem when he was going out with his personal production is he didn't realize I lived in Wyckoff too, and I was in the business a year and a half before he was. So everybody he spoke to had already been spoken to by me. So that's why you have to follow the system. But how this business has really changed my life is, people who've heard me speak before, I'm from the mortgage industry, you still have like maybe one toe left in it. Thank goodness, after watching rates go up over 1% in the last 6 weeks, so I'm sure people are in panic mode out there if they're still in the industry working hard. But, I've gone from, I made a ton of money. Like, business was good to a lot of us for a lot of years, and then it wasn't. So really the importance is about the plan B, because if you had a plan B in place, and it's unfortunate that so many people think they're so darn busy that they can't look at anything else. But what happens when what keeps you busy isn't keeping you busy anymore? You get that phone call like Anthony Serino got. You got that phone call like Frank got. 2007, 2008, when the mortgage market went to hell and people went making $300,000 a year to $50,000. Guess what? You can't replace that income overnight. So, we all started looking at other things, but 2008 was like my rock bottom. That was the nights waking up with the night sweats, heart pounding out of your chest, all that great stuff. But if you had the plan B in place, you wouldn't have had to worry about that. So that's the thing, is people are not going to tell you they're having a tough time. Financial things they're going to keep very close to the vest. So don't be afraid to show this to everybody you know, regardless of how successful you think they are. Because what's going on behind the curtains may not be so pretty, and they're waiting to hear from you. Thank you.
We got so many smart guys in the business, I feel like a dummy sometimes. Want to thank a few people. Frank for seeing the opportunity in direct selling when Mikey Moore first showed him another company that we all worked for. We were all looking for something years ago. You got to say that seriously. Frank, Joe gets all the credit. Frank's the brains of the operation, trust me. And he's sexy too with his bald head. But it really stinks to see people struggle. And I went through the worst time of my life 3 years ago. And when Joe Barricata said up here, Joe, Jim Rohn said, the next 3 years of your life could be exponentially different from the last. And my 3 years were 3 years of surgery, vocal cord, knee surgery, back surgery, and I was broken. But I never stopped dreaming, never stopped my enthusiasm. I was just watching Untouchables, and I kept thinking of De Niro as Al Capone, enthusiasms. And I think I built my business on enthusiasm. I never, ever got down. And I got some emails during the course of the stuff with the technology stuff from so many people, like the gloom and doom, and I don't ever let that slow me down. I'm always excited. I mean, people look at me and go, 3 years later, this energy thing still gets you excited? I go, yeah, we just got started. So the reality is, if you treat this like, say, for example, fitness, and you wanted to get in the best shape of your life, and you worked out 1 hour a day, 4 days a week, think about your level of fitness in 6 months. How would you feel in 6 months? How would you feel in a year? In 2 years? Think about that as your business. Show the plan, as Anthony said, he was showing it 3 times a day. You could be the busiest person on the planet, and you could show this business to 5 people a week at least. So show the plan, and this dream has come true for so many of us, and we want it for each one of you. So God bless. Thanks for being here.
It's hard to follow J-Lo. My name is Justin Phillips. I'm a new partner with my business partner, Fred Stewart. And all of you who are new in this room, less than 3 months in the business, I gotta tell you, there's a reason you're here, and you must have figured out your why. And my why started about 10 years ago when I lost my big job and I had to find another way. So I got into real estate and finance when it was great. For those of us in that industry, we know how lucrative our lives were in the mid-2000s, and then one day, the light switch got shut off on us, no pun intended. After that, nobody would hire me. I spent a lot of time trying to find an employer that would take me with the experience I had. All my experience was back from 10 years prior. And being in the mortgage and real estate industry, I knew there was a better way. I got into multi-level marketing, made a bunch of money in another business, but I just didn't feel like I was in the right place. Once that was done, and I realized I was just not going in the right direction I was headed, Anthony Serino and I crossed paths. And thank God for Jim Kenny, because Jim Kenny stopped that vomit. Anthony Serino did one thing. He said, Justin, and I had inquired with him how he was doing so well in his real estate business. I said, Anthony, how did you do so well last year? He goes, it doesn't matter. I want you to take a look at this. Just watch this video, and then I want you to meet Jim Kenny. I'm like, who's this Jim Kenny guy? So Jim Kenny ends up meeting with me shortly after, and I better stop because I can't stop. Fred always tells me to be quiet. But basically, short and sweet, I got involved with the business. I followed the plan. I identified the most important step in this business, and that's my why. What drives you? Figure that out, and you're going to go to the top. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Fred Stewart. I'm the other half of the business partner with Justin, and got involved March 1st last year, right, Justin? March 1st? Yep. And we were looking for something. I own an ATM company, and through no fault of my own, with this last election, they passed this Todd Frank Act. Anybody ever heard of that? Through no fault of my own, immediately, the next day, I lost $10,000 a month through the regulation. I said, man, this can't be right. I worked 15 years to build my ATM company, and then the next day I wake up and I'm $10,000 a month short. How's that going to affect my family? So earlier in my career, I did network marketing with another company. I always loved it. In fact, I built my ATM company just like a network marketing company. I brought in sub-distributors, teach them how to do the business, help them get some ATMs. They got some residual income. I had 17 sub-distributors in 15 states now, so that's great. You know, they're all making a little bit of money, but then I got hit. So I said, Justin, I met him through the other network marketing company we were with. I said, let's look at network marketing again. I got involved in ATMs when they became deregulated. Let's look at something like that. So we knew energy was going to be deregulated, so we started looking. We went to meetings all over the country. Went to Philadelphia, Baltimore, up to Syracuse. I visited every other company. So I did my research. So those of you new in the room, don't even bother. It's already done. You're in the right place, okay? Let's just get that out of the way, okay? So I love this company, and if there's one thing I got to emphasize to you, it says, you do not have the right not to show this to everybody you know and let them tell you no. You don't have that right. Thank you.
You're going to start my ticker over here. Thank you. All right, I'm actually very blessed to obviously have joined Viridian. Viridian gave me two things right off the bat. It electrified me and gave me a lot of gas. That's pretty fun. All right, going back to Ken Olsen, obviously you said, the platinum partners are beginning to look a little younger because we get this kind of sleep in a little bit more. I think that's wrong. We could, but we don't. Because we obviously are still supporting our teams and making our teams grow, and that's how we obviously accelerate to ambassador and so on and so forth. Mike Fitzpatrick made I loved your point over here, talking about income. That's something that I present in my meetings all the time, talking about income. I teach simplicity. When you first get involved in this business, teach somebody how they can pay their electric bill. How would you like to get your electric bill on autopilot in 30 days? Then your car payments, then your mortgage, so on and so forth. That's very, very important. You see, I get inspired every day, not by the actions that I take, by the actions my team takes. People like Joe Barricata, Vin Lamantia in my business, brand new guys like Rob and obviously Danielle re-engaging, all these guys inspire me. So That's what I teach. Teach inspiration. Go out there and inspire somebody today and teach them how they can do things that they thought they never could do. So be inspirational. One last thing I'd like to always quote by Jim Rohn. You know, I've been a traditional business owner for 23 years, and I've always had a job that paid me my wages, that, you know, afforded my house and my car and so on and so forth, but I never found my fortune. I found the part-time thing that created me a fortune, and that's Viridian. God bless.
There's a saying, guys, if you want something you never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. This is the company. Believe in it. But most importantly, believe in yourself. You're capable of doing some really remarkable things. I know you are. God bless you.
I'm not ready to go yet. You have more time. All right, listen, no, seriously, I'll be short. And by the way, Q, this is my good side, so if you're taking pictures, try to get this side. I'll be short, yeah, you got that. Thank you for the
Really short.
So, all right, just a quick audience participation segment. By show of hands, how many of you women over the last 3 years have purchased a fur coat? Show of hands, raise your hands. Oh, there's one. And Diane, thank you. I can always count on you, there's 2. All right, how about any men in the room purchase fur coat for their wives over the last 3 years? How about your girlfriends? Keep your hand up. Okay, so now you know my why, because that's what I've been doing for the last 25 years, manufacturing outerwear, including fur. By the way, that's not funny. I'll let you know when I'm funny. And then, I guess, just about 3 years ago, I met this guy by mistake, the man with one name, Henri, and he introduced me to Viridian. And by the way, I don't know if I ever thanked you, so let me just thank you. Because, you know, thanks to you guys, I wasn't making a lot of money in the apparel business because you weren't buying anything, okay? And then I got involved with Viridian, and here's my quick story. I have not much time. I'm gonna go over. So 18 months after becoming a Viridian associate, I was able to close my wholesale business down that I owned for 25 years. 18 months of part-time.
That's the energy.
You can hear me? Okay, part-time, consistent work, guys. 18 months I was able to close it. Guess how much I was able to give my children after owning this company for 25 years? Guess how much money they got when I closed my company down? Exactly 0. Now, 33 months later, my children have a 6-figure residual income, whether they live in New Jersey, whether they're Viridian customers or not, they can live in Timbuktu. That's what this is all about. And one last thing, I don't care going over, one last thing. Have you guys ever heard from any of your prospects that they're too busy to do this? Right, you've all heard that? Okay, have them call Ralph, actually, have them call Ralph. No, I'm the poster child for being too busy. Okay, I spent a third of the year last year overseas, but managed to be consistent with my time when I was here and efficient with my time, and that's all it takes, guys. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Janice Pescator. We're new partners, Frank and I, and we've been in the business since last March. And of course, we did not do this by ourselves. It is about our team, so thank you everybody that's out there. You know, yeah, that's awesome. We're talking about the nuts and bolts of the business tonight. I always love to talk about the nuts and